Hey guys, sorry I wasn't able to upload this much sooner. It just became really busy during the course of the week. But here it is, this part 2 for Note Start No Crank. Let me start off by saying yes, it is a bad ground, as Robert has said on the comments. Technically a high resistance between the block and the battery negative. Yeah, but instead of just showing you on the truck, well, I already said in part 1 it was just a simulation, so I can show you with the test light. Just put the negative back again, the cable back again to the ground. It would stop the test light from lighting up. But I decided this time to show you on a simulation so we could play around with it for a bit. Okay, so right here we have a simple circuit. We have the battery, which is 12 volts. We have the fuse and the ignition switch. Right here we have a relay, which would be our load connected to the block for the ground, right? And we have our test light, which is connected on one side to the battery negative and the other side connected to the block of the engine, right? So we're going to be simulating the same thing that we saw on part 1. So let me just power this up. There you go. So test light is not lit because you don't have the ignition switch turned on. But as soon as you turn on the ignition switch, you see the test light is lighting up, but the load didn't do nothing. Alright, so turn it off, on, so you see the test light reacting to it. Alright, so let's talk about this for a moment. Why would that test light be on? So you got to remember that electricity is lazy, right? Electricity would choose the path of least resistance. And in the presence of a high resistance between the block of the engine and the negative terminal on the battery, electrons would then pass through that if they have another path of least resistance. In this particular case, your test light. Now, the test light might be able to, depending on what bulb you use, it might be able to power up a load depending on the current that is needed to power up a load, right? Okay, so let me now show you what's under this block or engine block right here. So let me just remove this. Delete. And so you see right here, it's just a resistor with a 1 mega ohm value. And like I said, technically the bad ground is just a high resistance between the block and the negative terminal on the battery. So we get the same reaction. So if I remove this and just replace it with cable, basically. So what's gonna happen here, now I have a good connection from the battery negative to the block of the engine, right? So even if I turn the ignition on, you see now the relay is working, but my test light doesn't light up anymore. It also goes back again because the electrons are lazy. Now you have the least battery resistance aside from the test light. So it wouldn't pass through the test light anymore. It would just go to that cable straight to battery negative. And that's the reason why if you have a bad ground, you would always see your test light light up when you poke to the block. So there you go. That's the answer to what's wrong with this bad ground. So this could have been explained in more technical terms, but I didn't want to go and do that. I wanted to go with the simplest explanation as possible so that everybody could understand. And there it is. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it.